Caitlin Clark just found out she cannot control her own season anymore, not because of an injury, not because of a slump, but because of a single word she said to an opponent while the scoreboard already read 95-67. One more technical foul and she sits out a game. Not a suspension for fighting, not a suspension for a dirty play. A suspension for talking back. Here is exactly what happened, and why the league just made her situation worse. Wednesday night, Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Indiana, up by 28 points against Connecticut. Late third quarter. Sun forward, Olivia Nelson-Ododa gets called for a foul. Her teammate Saniya Rivers starts jawing at Clark, telling her she has been locking her up all night. Clark points at the scoreboard. That's it. That's the whole incident. A one-word jab back at a rookie who started the trash talk first. The officials hit both players with technical fouls. For Rivers, it barely registers. For Clark, it is her 7th technical of the season, and under the WNBA rules, 7 is the number that puts a player on the edge of a cliff. Here is how the penalty system actually works. The first 3 technicals cost $500 each. Technicals 4 through 7 cost $1,000 each. The 8th technical brings a $1,500 fine, and something far worse, an automatic 1-game suspension. Every 2 technicals after that trigger another suspension. So an 8th, a 10th, a 12th, a 14th technical, each one sits her for a game. Clark is at 7. She is 1 step from the edge, with 17 games still left on the schedule. The Fever front office moved fast. They appealed the technical, the same way they appealed one from a game against New York back on July 18th. That first appeal went nowhere. The league did not budge. So everyone waited to see if this second appeal would go differently. It did not. A league source confirmed to the Indianapolis Star that the WNBA would not rescind the technical. Clark's count stays locked at 7. One more outburst, one more moment of frustration, one more official with a quick trigger finger, and she watches her own team play from a suite instead of the court. Now think about what that means for a player putting up a 20 and 10 stat line for the 16th time in her career, a mark no other player in the league is close to touching. Clark dropped 27 points and 11 assists in that same game against Connecticut, shooting 8 for 13 from the field with 5 3-pointers. Indiana won by 35 points, a franchise scoring record. On the court, everything is going right. Off the court, one referee's whistle stands between her and a forced night off, and Clark is not backing down. When reporters asked if the suspension threat would change how she plays, she said no. Her exact point was that the intensity and the fire are part of what makes her who she is, but she also knows her team needs her on the floor, and she is trying to find that balance without pretending to be someone else out there. That is not the sound of a player planning to play it safe for the rest of the season. This is not new territory for her either. She has a history with Connecticut specifically that runs deeper than one exchange with a rookie. In an earlier meeting between these two teams, Sun guard Marina Mabrey shoved Clark to the ground during a scuffle and was hit with a flagrant 2 for it, while Sun guard JC Sheldon poked her in the eye on the same play. Fever guard Sophie Cunningham ended up getting ejected trying to defend her teammate. Every time these two franchises meet, something ignites, and Wednesday's back and forth with Rivers fits right into that pattern. There is also a wider angle worth watching here. Clark is currently tied with Angel Reese for the most technical fouls in the league this season. 2 of the biggest names in the WNBA, 2 players drawing record crowds and record television numbers, both sitting 1 step away from a forced absence. If either of them gets suspended during a playoff push, that stops being a basketball story and becomes a business story, because networks are scheduling games around these 2 players specifically. Indiana sits 5th in the standings at 17 wins and 10 losses, fighting to climb into home court position before the postseason. Every single game matters from here, and losing your best player for even one night because of a scoreboard comment could be the difference between hosting a playoff series and playing on the road. Fans have already picked sides on this one. Some are pointing out that Rivers started the exchange and got away with the same technical at no real cost, since she's nowhere near the suspension threshold. Others argue referees are watching Clark closer than anyone else in the league, specifically because she reacts to contact more visibly than most players, and that 7 technicals in one season is still 7 technicals, no matter who provoked what. Both sides have a point, and the league is not exactly rushing to clear the air on it. Compare this to how technical fouls work on the men's side, where players get 16 technicals before an automatic suspension kicks in, more than double the WNBA threshold. That gap is part of why this story keeps resurfacing every time Clark picks up another one, because the margin for error is so much smaller here than fans are used to seeing in the NBA. So watch the next few weeks closely. Indiana has plenty of games left, plenty of physical opponents, and plenty of moments where a rookie or a veteran gets in Clark's face, daring her to react. One wrong word, one shove she answers instead of walking away from, and the suspension clock runs out on her. The Fever are counting on her staying calm through whatever comes next. The rest of the league might be counting on the opposite. Either way, Clark's next technical foul is not just a foul anymore. It is appointment television, and every referee on the court now knows it.